All right, welcome to the North Hills Podcast, where we take a deeper dive into unique content created just for you. And this is episode 1 of something unprecedented for our church with the North Hills Podcast. And I can't think of 2 greater people to have on the first ever episode than Ruthie and JP Camp of our children's ministry. And guys, real quick, before we dive into the incredible ministry of SCORE, I would love to know, who are you and what do you do? Ruthie, who are you? What do you do?
Well, I am Ruthie Smith, and I am the director of children's ministry here. So anything that happens birth to 6th grade, I am in charge of. Those people report to me.
You're the boss.
I'm the boss.
Yeah, you're a boss.
And then I hand those children off to you.
Yes.
So delicately.
And then I mess them up and hand them over to counseling once they graduate. And it's the circle of life.
Yeah, we've really got a chain going.
JK. Okay, Ruthie, thank you so much. Mr. JP.
Yeah, I'm JP Camp. I guess I've been coming to North Hills for about 6 years. I've been on staff for a little over 5 now.
That's awesome.
I work with Ruthie in children's ministry, but I also do a little thing called SCORE.
Love it. And we're going to come back to that in just a second because I want to know what is SCORE. But Ruthie, real quick, how long have you been at North Hills?
I've been here for about 21 years.
That literally, you have to hold the record in the upstate of someone who has been either attending a church / on staff at a church for that long.
Yeah.
Guinness Book of World Records, maybe?
Oh, I think we should call him.
We should
find out.
I'm curious now. I really am. So, Okay, excited to have you guys. For the next few minutes, I want to ask the question, what is SCORE? Okay, do people even know this exists? For those that maybe do, maybe they don't know that much about it and how it operates. But before we do that, Ruthie, give us a little background, like why SCORE? Mm-hmm. How did SCORE become what it is? And when did this essentially start? Mm-hmm. So give us a little background, a little context before we get to JP.
Yeah, I'd love to. It's actually a really cool story. Brooklyn Elementary School, which is in our backyard, is a great little school. And when Connor Hubbard was in 4th grade there.
Now, who is Connor Hubbard? Connor
Hubbard is one of Peter Hubbard's sons.
Yeah, the man.
Yeah,
Love it.
He is, and he's all grown up now. But when he was...
Connor's at Furman University.
Yeah, he's a senior this year.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, so when he was in 4th grade over at Brooklyn, Peter would go and eat lunch with him, and they had recess right after lunch. So he'd just go and kick the soccer ball around with Connor and his friends, and Peter just really noticed that these kids, most of them, didn't really have anybody investing in them. And they just ate up that time with him, you know? And so from there, he came back and said to the other leaders and pastors here, you know, I'd really love to contact Brooklyn about doing some kind of a ministry to these
partnership.
Kids. Yes, really. So he approached, of course, the elders were totally on board with that, saw the need for it for sure. So he approached the principal. She was totally on board and allowed him to ask permission of these parents to bring the kids for a 1-day after school activities, homework, snack,
if they needed to talk to someone,
a Bible lesson,
process things.
Absolutely. So that went on for several years, and we definitely saw huge impact in those kids' hearts. In fact, some of those kids have even reached out to their former tutors now that they're adults and have said, hey, I'm going through a really tough time. Would you pray for me?
Yeah.
So it's really awesome that God used that need that Peter saw in the lives of kids. So
Peter saw this need while visiting his kiddo while attending there. Peter brings it back. Did at any moment, because I mean, our staff back in the day was 2 people. It was Peter Hubbard, and who was the second guy?
Ross Robinson.
Yeah, I'm sure Peter took this to Ross. What role did Ross essentially play?
Yeah, so a few years after that, Ross was actually the pastor over children's ministry when I came on full-time here.
And I bet you a lot of people didn't know that he's our pastor of leadership and vision. But back in the day, he was our children's pastor.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
He absolutely was. He's done lots of different things here. And one of the things that he saw was this vision to take SCORE after school and really go deep with it in a few kids' lives.
Love it.
And really impact them. Because believe it or not, when kids are in elementary school, it really sets the trajectory for their lives.
Yes.
So if they're not achieving well at school and they're getting into trouble by the time they're upper elementary school, that's kind of the path for the rest of their lives. And it's really hard for them to break free from that.
Yep.
So he wanted to invest deeply in a few kids and really make an impact for their lives.
Yeah. You do for some that you wish you could do for all.
Absolutely.
So it seems Peter Hubbard had this wow moment. Ross Robinson tends to be the how person.
Yeah, he definitely is. And in fact, he had a senior in college who was an outdoor leadership major come and run our first summer SCORE camp.
Who was that?
That was actually Nathan Arms, who is
my favorite little ginger.
Yeah, I love that guy. He's so great. So he's actually now our outreach director.
Yeah.
So that's kind of come full circle because definitely SCORE is an outreach into our community.
North Hills tends to do that. We like to hire from within. You're an example of that.
Absolutely.
JP, you're even an example of that.
Yep.
I mean, you came and you attended here and served here before you were considered for the position that you do.
Yes.
But JP, I would love for you, now that Ruthie has kind of laid this foundation, I would love for you to talk more about kind of the nitty gritty of what is SCORE.
Sure. I would say SCORE breaks up into two different parts.
Yeah, components.
Components. Yeah. The one that's going on right now is during the school year. We still do that after school program once
Love
a week. We have about 14 kids enrolled in that right now.
Now, real quick, let me interrupt you. How do you choose these kids?
Yeah, actually, we don't. The school chooses them for us.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the teachers in the classrooms pick students that they feel like are falling behind, but do have a lot of potential if they just were given a little jump start.
Need a little more TLC.
Yeah. So let me back up a little bit. SCORE is a 3-year program that we invite these kids to. Included in that 3-year program is 3 summer camps. So their 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade year, they come to a summer camp.
The whole summer.
Yeah, the whole summer. All day.
Monday through Friday?
Monday through Friday.
Mercy.
8 to 4, they're here.
Wow.
In the mornings, they do a lot of learning. In the afternoons, we do a lot of fun, like go to the pool, do Bible class. We even grow a garden.
A garden? We have one here?
Yeah, we do.
What in the world have we grown? And why haven't I eaten anything from this garden?
Oh, you might have, and you just
Maybe
didn't know.
because I just
Do you eat
Chick-fil-A. Yeah.
You gotta eat green stuff.
Potato's a vegetable. Yeah?
Do we grow potatoes
We've
in
tried
the garden?
once.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Maybe corn?
Yeah, we've done corn. We've done cucumbers, zucchini, squash does pretty well. Tomatoes do really well.
Oh.
You did watermelon one year too, didn't you?
Yeah, that didn't go so well.
Actually, you did, because remember in student ministry, we made those watermelons explode. Do you remember
That's
that?
right, yes.
You gave us those watermelons, and we put as many rubber bands around it as we could until the watermelon exploded.
Nice.
So on behalf of student
That sounds
ministry,
about right.
thank you, SCORE, very much.
No problem.
But you guys, here's what I love about SCORE. You guys truly become family. I love seeing the dynamics of when SCORE starts up in late May, early June, and kind of watching how y'all interact all the way until end of July, early August when you're wrapping things up. You guys truly are a family.
Yeah, they really are.
You spend so much time together.
Yeah, the kids honestly become best friends.
Wow.
It's pretty neat to see.
Yeah. And do you see a lot of the overflow into the school years? Like where are kind of the overflow moments?
I mean, kids are going on little summer vacations together and they hang out at each other's houses. It's really actually pretty special.
Okay. That is pretty amazing. Last question before I really want to recap this last summer of 2019. SCORE has been around, it seems, for a long time.
Yeah.
So how has this ministry, in your own words, impacted the Brook Glen community during this time of it growing in the last few years?
I think what Ross's decision was to dive deeply into a few kids' lives has really given us an avenue to pour into specific families that are giving kids to the school.
Yeah.
And
now the Brook Glen community, how close is that to North Hills?
like Edwards Road to
Yeah.
like Eastside High School
Wow.
is the district. So, I mean, we're talking right here. We are their neighborhood.
Wow.
And I really do believe that a lot of families, even if they haven't been involved with SCORE, know about SCORE.
Yeah. Like when you go there, are you a known person?
Yes. Yeah.
Or like, JP's in the house.
Well, maybe not that
You
excited.
high-fiving the principal, bump chest with the janitor
only.
going down the hallway. I
If
bet you're like
only.
a celebrity there.
Not quite.
Yeah, whenever I go eat with middle school and high school students, they ask 2 questions, literally. Why are you here? And am I in trouble? Like if I show up, I've noticed if I go to schools, they think this isn't good. Why is Tim here?
No, it's quite the opposite when Mr. JP goes.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody does
When
love
I
it.
see JP,
He's
I
not
get excited.
He doesn't brag on himself, but everybody really is very excited to see Mr. JP, and even the staff just over and over will thank him for what we do.
Yeah, and that's the ministry of presence. And I always want to honor you. Your presence and your commitment and faithfulness to SCORE has been awesome to watch, but we've seen how God has definitely used that. So, Ruthie and JP, I want you guys to kind of jump in here when you feel led to answer this question. Like 2019, in a nutshell, like what are some cool stories or things that happened this year? JP, more of kind of you're in the midst of it, but then Ruthie on kind of the outside looking in kind of role. So what are just some incredible ways that God showed up?
Yeah, I can start with that. Like I have a specific that is unfolding before me as we speak. There was one girl that has now graduated the SCORE program that
And
is...
when you say graduated, like do they actually like get like a diploma? They have a
Yeah,
graduation?
they do.
For real?
Yes, it's
Okay,
awesome.
Come back to that in a little bit. Okay.
Yeah, I'd love to. So she's graduated the program now, is in middle school, just started 7th grade, but at the end of her 6th grade year, her school picked her to actually skip a grade. So
What?
this year she is doing...
Is that even allowed?
I know, right?
No one ever looked at me and said, Tim, we
should-
think you should skip a grade.
Well,
They were like,
shouldn't
Tim,
have come to SCORE.
How'd you make it to 10th grade? This is great, buddy.
But this year she's doing 7th grade this semester and
Wow.
8th grade next semester. And on top of that, her mom just texted me and said that she has been selected for the Duke TIP program.
What is that?
It's a talent identification program.
What?
So she has to be in the 95th percentile of her grade to be selected for this.
Okay, so 2 incredible things. You're texting with mom and dad, so there's a beautiful partnership
Yeah.
there. Like it's not like you're kind of off in the distance doing your thing. It seems like mom and dad are in your corner. There's communication. There's a beautiful partnership
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
I love in your language. And number 2, this seems like a kid that would have been overlooked if not for SCORE.
Absolutely. Yeah. When she came into SCORE, she was struggling with her grades, and all she needed was just a little confidence.
Yep.
And that's what SCORE was able to give her, is a
Man.
little bit of just...
And I would think like this would be like, okay, you get chosen, but can the kids afford it or can the families afford it? How much is SCORE?
Actually, SCORE's free to all the kids and the families. Yeah, the church provides the money to be able to do that. In the past, we've done it through harvest offering, but now it's actually part of the outreach budget.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So if people are listening, people are watching, I think number 1, if you feel like you know of a kid over at Brooklyn that could qualify for this, help spread the word. And even if, I would think if people are listening and watching, this is something that is worthy to be talked about over a meal, in passing, because I don't know if a lot of churches have something quite like this. I'm sure it does exist, but this is pretty unique, I would think.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you for sharing that. Ruthie, on kind of the outside looking in, what has that been as we've already determined, you're the boss lady. What has that kind of been to watch you see JP grow, this ministry grow? What's that been like for you?
Yeah, it's been pretty incredible to watch how JP has really owned SCORE summer camp and after school. He'll come to me and ask sometimes, what do you think I should do in this
Yeah.
situation? Or, things like that. I always check in on him and see how you doing with volunteers. For summer,
So
we
JP
actually
needs
hire.
volunteers.
Yes.
Yes.
How many do you normally need? Like throughout the school year and the summer?
In the summer, we actually hire staff, and we normally have about...
Hired as in paid?
Yeah.
Snap daddy.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
We have probably about 8 on staff in the summer. And then during the school year, we'll take as many as we can get, because no two SCORE kids are alike.
Yes.
And they're all in different levels. So the more tutors that we can have come in to help them with their homework, the better. Because one might just really need help with multiplication. Some might be onto division and fractions.
Yeah, that's why
others just need to learn how to read.
So how can people get involved with y'all's ministry of SCORE?
Oh man, come and visit, see what it actually looks like. The kids love it when guests come and they just really latch on. But
if that guest were to come and they're like, I want to grow roots here.
Yeah.
They just need to email you.
Yeah. They could email me, talk to me, call the church and ask for me.
Yeah. What's your email address?
It's jpcamp@northhillschurch.com.
Yeah. And for Ruthie, it's Ruthies, RUTHIES for Smith @northhillschurch.com. And people listening to this can say, man, this is pretty amazing. I want JP to take me out for coffee and buy my cup of coffee and tell me a little bit more about this incredible ministry that we have. So
I can do that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So that's how people can get involved. Ruthie, how can people be praying for this ministry?
Yeah, that's a great question, Tim, because we really do cover our staff, our volunteers, our kids in prayer, and we would love for our church family to get in on that with us. Prayer for protection, prayer for power, prayer for love, for the kids. A lot of them come from really rough backgrounds.
Yeah.
Maybe they do have parents who love them, but they, in order to make ends meet, have to work 24/7.
They just don't see them that much.
They just don't see them.
Yeah.
So they really need somebody investing in them, and need their cup to be full, really with God's love. And so that's what we pray over them. And even for JP, like, he runs everything so beautifully.
Yeah.
It takes tons of energy. So you can even just pray for JP that he'll have strength and energy.
Yeah.
And his staff to have strength and energy. Summer is 8 weeks and it's all day.
It is like
every day. And it's
SCORE is
exhausting.
the first people to show up, and I feel like sometimes the last to leave.
Yeah, a lot of times.
Wow.
Yeah, it's true.
So I'm even thinking too, one great thing to pray for is, JP, how many returning kids will be coming for summer 2020?
At this moment, 12.
Okay, so how many new kids will you get?
Probably about 10.
Yeah, so let's be praying that God would even prepare the way for those 10.
Gospel. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah. And JP wants to talk about graduation. Because that's a huge piece of what we do.
Do we legit do a graduation?
We really do. So at the end of the summer camp, after the kids have been there for 3 summers, we graduate the 5th graders.
Wow.
And send them off to their little middle school.
Yeah.
And that it's a really special time. If you can't get involved, definitely come to one of those, because it is...
Well, just supporting them.
Yeah.
And say, guys, look what you have accomplished. Well done.
Right.
That's cool.
So the little 5th graders give us speech.
Like a commencement speech?
Yeah, they really do. They stand up in front of all the adults and kids and deliver a speech.
And that takes guts.
Yeah.
That's scary.
It's very scary.
I'm 34 and I'm still afraid to get up in front of people and talk. That's not true.
No, you're not.
But when I was in elementary school.
Yeah, it'd be
actually,
terrifying.
no one gave me an open mic.
No one is that crazy.
In elementary school.
Tim.
I'd have been like, thank you. And then I'd gone and sat down and been really, really bad. So you do this graduation. Mm-hmm. Parents are invited.
Yes.
The church is invited. You eat a huge meal together.
Yes.
And that's what, essentially, that's what I love about SCORE. It's family. It's not just, I see you for an hour a week, see you next week. This is just a beautiful partnership of doing life together and then focusing on the practicality of, you have homework.
Right.
You got to get your homework done. But then when the homework's over, hey, how's life going? How's this friendship? Or I'm following up with them on this and that. How can I pray for you? Like, they'll remember that long after fractions. And I'm a perfect example of, I don't remember anything about fractions, but I do remember the people that invested in my life and had the ministry of presence. For sure. And that's what I want to honor you and Ruthie with. The ministry of your faithfulness and your presence in these kids' life is life altering. The story you shared about her skipping a grade and getting this, whatever scholarship thing with Duke, or I don't even remember, but it sounded incredible. That's life altering. Yeah. And this was someone who probably would have been overlooked over here, but North Hills in the SCORE program took the time and took not a risk, but took an opportunity to love on someone who probably would have just, like I said, been overlooked. And for that, who knows the ripple effects that this will have in the upstate, in the world. Maybe 20 years from now, we won't even begin to understand what SCORE is doing.
That's right.
Unbelievable.
I would love that.
So in closing, what is one other thing that you would like to impart to our listeners on your ministry? I know we've talked about how to get involved, how to pray. We've talked about examples of even people volunteering. Who are some people who have volunteered from our church over the years?
Oh man, there have been so many, and I couldn't have done it. Yeah, I couldn't have done it without them. And if I start listing names, I'm definitely going to leave people out.
Yeah,
and I don't want to do that. But I would say dozens of people.
And it seems like a plethora of people. Like, it's not you're looking for the studious educational type. You're looking for any really person who has a heart for these kids and will love them, and even go to Google if they don't know anything about Christopher Columbus.
That's right. Absolutely.
You don't know the rhyme? Well, Google will. You can go to the rhyme to help them.
That's right.
Learn that. I love it. Okay.
Anybody can help.
Parting words. Ruthie, hit it.
I think that something we've been praying about for a couple of years now is expanding SCORE into different schools, different churches, really getting involved and taking a SCORE program with the school that's in the backyard at their church. So we've been praying about that for a couple of years, and we really believe that God could use it. So that's another thing that people can be praying for.
The potential there is massive. I mean, what a huge mountain to climb, but what a great opportunity. Like, even if at our Travelers Rest campus at North Hills Northwest, I'm sure there's a school that's somewhere close to there, or just the way, Ruthie, I love that you brought that up. I'm so grateful for that. The expansion part is another way people can pray, but something that we're looking for God to do in the future.
Yeah,
which absolutely. I love. JP, parting words.
Oh man, if you haven't ever been able to be a part of SCORE, like, you're definitely missing out. It's just has such a special place in my heart and has really changed my life as well. Yeah. And just being able to see these kids learn and grow has just been so exciting to be a part of God.
Yeah. And it's been a huge blessing, too, to see them leave SCORE and even come on Sunday nights and slowly get acclimated to our youth program.
Absolutely.
So the two are kind of tied together as much as, as we think, and the partnership that I have with you guys is incredible. And from student ministry, I think that we are a stronger student ministry because of what God is doing in our children's ministry. What I inherit year after year from you guys makes my job easier. It's so much more of a blessing. No, I'm serious. Like, even this last group of 7th graders, like, we said goodbye to the class of 2019. I said hello to these new 7th graders. They're a huge army, by the way.
Yeah,
you gave me like 70
kids.
They're
giant. So many.
Well, not like giant physically.
Right.
Well, some are.
Some are.
Yeah, but like so many. We were running out of life group rooms just for them. And as the student pastor here, I'm so grateful for you guys. Thank you for being with us.
Yeah,
JP,
thank you, Tim.
Love you, Ruthie.
Yeah.
Love you. You guys are great.
Love you too.
So that wraps up episode 1 of the North Hills podcast. Let me give you a little preview, a little sneak peek of episode 2 coming up, where we're going to have a ministry update of Water of Life. Roland Bergeron, which is here in Greer, South Carolina. So our next episode will drop November 1st. Ryan and Carissa will host they're going to host our pastor of Global Connection, which is the man, the myth, and the legend,
Alan Shearer.
Alan Shearer. If you'll never forget this episode, because he is a remarkable guy.
Yeah.
So we're looking forward to hearing more about how God is working in India through our partnership with Praveen and Water of Life. So thanks for listening in, and we will see you next time. Say bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.